So Alion prefers a 10 plus 5. Puppers doesn't really seem to have an opinion here. So let's call it a 10 plus 5. So Alion, if perfect. Okay, Alion, you go ahead and challenge Puppers to a 10 plus 5. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. This is the grand final of the first official Migoyugo tournament. So there we go. The game has begun. Good luck to all. Good luck to Puppers and Alion. Very exciting. Very exciting. And I'm going to keep the commentary to a minimum. I might just call some moves as they're played just to fill a little dead space. If I'm going to show this on the if I'm going to show this on as the game of the day tomorrow, um, I might want to have a little bit of commentary. But this is it. Five viewers spectating. Much more spread out board. So Crayon says, if we want to know if white has an advantage, check through these games after. See which color wins and how. Yeah, there's definitely definitely need to go back and look at games, but I mean, white could have an advantage all the way and then lose every game just on a blunder at the end. And there is our first Yugo. I'll hit review here just for anyone who's watching. These three Migos were taken, and we have a Yugo followed up by a Yugo on c5. And I'm sure most people know this, but if you don't, if you go into players and you choose the player, so I'm going to choose Puppers, for example, and you click on stats, pardon me, you click on stats, it'll show you the last games and you can see the last games and you can replay those last games. So even if it's not you who played the game, you can go back into someone else's games and you can replay them, you can review them, and perhaps learn something from them. So as a member, you have that ability. If you are not signed in or signed up, you won't have the ability to do that. So if you haven't signed up, if you're new to the game, it doesn't cost you anything. You just create a username and a password, and then you can play against other members. You can track your stats. You can see all your wins and losses. You can even view and review all the games that you've played. And you can spectate other people's games. As a guest, you're not able to do so. You can only do spectator as a member. Okay, lots of time left on the clock for both players. Two Yugos apiece. I can tell you this is a lot less stressful watching the games as opposed to playing them. Puppers is blocked on c6 with a Migo. Looks like black has really got something going here, but Puppers still does have well-connected Yugos. It's the delay on the stream. I'd say it's about 10 to 12 seconds. So that's why I'm not making any comments about potential future moves or even if it's a missed DPA, because if the person has missed it this time and the other player doesn't block next time, it's still there. So I'm just trying to keep comments to things that have happened, not to um, things that might be done or moves that were missed. Because I almost did that in the last game when it was a DPA on the board and Puppers missed it. So I'm just trying to keep it to a minimum for the sake of the integrity of the game. Hmm. We've got 6 people spectating on this game. 8 people in chat. And I think Saturday afternoons I will host a tournament just like this. And for the time being, if we get 8, that's great. And once we can build up the crowd a little bit, maybe get a 16-player tournament, single knockout, just like this. But this tournament, even just with single knockout, this is going to go for an hour. So I think if we had done double knockout, obviously it would have taken at least 2 hours, probably more. Um, so I think this was the right call on single knockout. Alion is having a long think on this one. Gets in at A5. Moves in on top at C7. Lots of time on the clock for both, even though Alion's down by 3 minutes. Alion still has over 4 minutes on the clock, so no real issues there. It is a little bit tense, but keep in mind this is for the championship of the world, so you would expect a little bit of tension in the air. F7 played by Alion. And F8. G8 for Alion. I don't think I've ever been this quiet in a live stream before, but I don't want to influence the game in any way. And Puppers says, okay, if you're going to play up there, I'll play down here on D1. I was just thinking that unlike chess, where when you play with an increment, you can just move a piece back and forth 2 or 3 times and pick up 10 or 15 seconds. I'll just move my king from e3 to e4, back to e3, back to e4, or shuffle a bishop or a rook around. But in this game, you can't do that. Every piece that you place on the board makes a difference, and it can't be taken back. So the increment helps, but you can't abuse it by just shuffling your pieces around. Once it's there for good. A4 played by Puppers, B4 played, both creating a Yugo, A3 played to block. There's a nasty pylon on B5. Alion's down to 2 minutes. Still, that's quite a bit of time, especially with the 5-second increment. But you do have to be careful. First creates a Yugo on G3, kind of out of the way, but blocking a diagonal for Alion. Alion using all of his clock. He's got a minute left. And the clock is ticking. At this point, Boris, I would not, just because it may influence the outcome of the game. And I'd prefer not to have that happen if we can avoid it. So Alion played on e3, created a Yugo. It does open up a little space in the middle of the board for both. Alion's down to 45 seconds left. Alion's up 6, Yugos to 5. And Puppers takes F3 with the Migo. Alion jumps right in immediately with the Migo on E4. Puppers gets a double Yugo. Alion blocks with a Yugo on C3. Puppers plays Amigo on D2 to block. And we have 7 Yugos each. Alion down to 31 seconds on the clock. Alion plays B3. Puppers takes a central square. D5 with Amigo. Puppers creates the Yugo on D3. Puppers has to block with the Yugo on B3. And that shuts that down a little bit. Alion down to 9 seconds. Alion's got 10 seconds on the clock and is going to have to play fast from now on. No thinking at this point. Jumps in on F5. Puppers blocks on G4. Alion takes Amigo on E4 and is up to 13 seconds, but still very short on time. Puppers has 3 minutes more. Blocks on C2. Alion takes E2. Alion really hasn't got much time to think. G6 for Puppers. Blocking at that end. 5 seconds left for Alion. Alion plays F2. A Yugo on C2 and a block with a Yugo, and Alion wins with an IGO. Alion wins with an IGO. What a finish. With 8 seconds left on the clock.